Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your Thursday night? Dabblecon Eve, some would say. Tonight, I am going to tell you about the city hosting Dabblecon 2, hosting all the Dabblecons so far, Rochester, New York. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, notification bell, retweet, all those. Well, retweet. We don't broadcast to Twitter anymore, so retweet if you want. But yeah, all those free things that you can do. We are monetized. We do like to make a couple of dollars a show. Not many. Doesn't take much. But also turn on your gifted memberships. People are kind enough to give those out. And if you have gifted memberships turned on, you can get a membership for free. And then you can join us on Sunday when we have our sparsely attended members-only watch party. And I pick out a hilarious movie from days of old. Yes. Let's see here. Julian Zeezer is in the house. People saying hi. Chef is in the house. People saying hi. Most cheerful chat room on the internet as verified by independent sources all over the damn place. Been following I got to tell you, I got agita watching the Joey C stream. This t-shirt is the worst metal band I've ever seen in my life. Gas Chamber. God, are they bad. I went to their show and they begged me to have this t-shirt. And now I just wear it. It sucks when there's like a terrible band, but they have really good merchandise. Anyway, not necessarily the design or anything like that, but just the quality. Anyway, I got agita because watching Joey travel, I mean, he stops at this gas station, and he's filling up. He goes in. He's talking to the guy. He's being Joey. He's friendly. Everything's going good. And then he thinks he's locked himself out of the car. And I'm like, oh, my God. He's in the middle of Virginia or somewhere, or Maryland. It was Maryland. And he's going to be locked out of his car, and so will his wife, and so will Spider. And they go, what are they going to do? And, Then it turns out Mrs. Catalano was hiding the keys from him to teach him a lesson because he had left the keys in the car, something like that. So they get in the car. Oh, before this, he almost ran out of gas. I mean, the light was on and the little meter was below E. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to run out of gas. There was just a lot of agita. And some people can travel that way. And I envy them. Because I am so OCD that I could never be without my kid. I could never. Oh, and then when they get going from the gas station, Mrs. C immediately gives them 2 apple pies and what was the drink? No, it was an ice cream cone. Big, giant ass ice cream cone from McDonald's. 2 apple pies. He wolfs those down. So now he's all on sugar, driving a car fast on the highway. It gave me agita. It really did. Let's see here. Randy, I think there's where we're at. Gilman says, great name for a band, Gas Chamber. I guess it's pretty good. You went to the show and it wasn't a gas. Not only did I go to the show, but I used to jam with them. There was one of their guys liked the blues, so I would show up and they would be meddling out like crazy, and then they would take a break or two or whatever, and then they'd go, okay, let's do blues jam. And we would seriously jam for quite a while. It was not a bad blues jam. I've had a lot worse. It was pretty good, actually. Hello, folks. It's the Wolf. People saying hi. People saying hi. Let's see here. The most cheerful chat room in the history of Karen Garvey says, Tom, you and Terry Nee were cracking me up. And Joey got to meet Terry Nee live and in person. Uh-oh. Look out. Manzanita Soul. Oh, yeah. Just for the show. And, oh, mama. Mama pajama. Our backup this evening is Dr. Pepper, zero sugar, strawberries, and cream soda. Let's see what we got here. The Wolf. Dupa. Cute old Karen Garvey. People saying, Rule 1 of locked keys in car, check all doors. Well, he did. I could never. Aku. I don't lose things. And when I do misplace something, I can't do anything else in life until I find the thing I misplaced. It happens very rarely. Like people, I left my wallet, I left my keys, I left my phone. How do you do that? How do you do that? I forgot my phone one day at work recently, and it was the first time that's ever happened. I mean, I'm just very regimented, and oh boy, it was driving me crazy. Sup, Wolf? Julian Zeezer says, I don't know the Joey C. lore, but he seems like he'd be a good co-host for John. Joey C. be a great co-host for anybody, but John's just dysfunctional. Dave K. Evening, Tom from Rochester, New York. Well, maybe Dave K. can recognize the significance of my screen name. I'm waiting for someone to acknowledge the significance of my screen name, a Rochester-esque person. Now, I have been to Rochester, New York. I went there in the, probably early 90s when Jolt Cola was produced there. And I went to that factory, the plant where they produce it. Just walking through the plant, this is when it was still double the sugar, double the caffeine. Just walking through, your hair stood on end. There was so much caffeine and sugar in the air. The Wolf has been kind enough to donate $10. Wolf, come on, buddy. We're buds. Don't you please. But thank you. That's our daily goal. So we met the daily goal. We were doing 500 a month here now. Now on this channel, we're lucky to even hit 100. And I have to change that. To be honest with you folks, I've been thinking very seriously about making this my job. Like devoting lots of time and professionally and all that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I got to crank in a few more bucks before I do that. Will you be in Rochester? No, I will not be in Rochester. Dave K. will. Dave K. will definitely be there. I won't be in Rochester. I talked about this the other night. First of all, I wasn't invited. I would think a star of my magnitude would get some feeler. But then again, I thought about it a little more, and I thought, no, you shouldn't necessarily get, because you're not Dabbleverse. You're Dabbleverse adjacent. You're right next to, but the big thing is there's no direct flights. I can't do late. I can't. But maybe next time. But I was thinking about it. I was on this show looking up fares, and there were no direct flights. So I couldn't do it. Aku says, as a body man, I've had to pick locks to get into cars. It was such a pain. I brought a break-in kit from Snap-on. Well, you used to be able to have those Slim Jim things that were real easy to get into, and now those don't work. So, better idea. And now they have the remember the door locks they used to have with the big knob at the top so you could loop a coat hanger around? They don't have that anymore. Now they're just a little button and, Let's see here. The Lancers are a soccer or lacrosse team, I believe. Dave, I'm going to give you credit for that. The Rochester Lancers were a team in the North American Soccer League. They were actually pretty good from time to time, and a number of their players played in the major indoor soccer league, a whole bunch of them, as a matter of fact, on a team called the New York Arrows that dominated the early portion of the major indoor soccer league. So I have a fondness for the Rochester Lancers. Now, I also have a great fondness for another team in Rochester that doesn't exist anymore called the Rochester Raging Rhinos. And unfortunately, they're no longer around. They're the last non-MLS team to win the U.S. Open Cup. They're second division team that won. Anyway, so I have some fondness for Rochester, actually. I didn't realize that I had. The Wolf says, where were the original burgers made? Or is in that Massachusetts? Was that where the original burgers were made? Or is that Mass? I don't know. Maybe Rhode Island. I have no idea. SG Family says, I wish I was going to Rochester. Yeah, me too. Maybe they'll pick a more tourist-friendly locale next time or something. Tiny says, you're Blabberverse. Just kidding. Well, that is not necessarily a bad name for what I am. Karen Garvey, thank you so much. That is so generous of you. If you had all day to focus on a YouTube show, just saying, why not try it? It would take a lot of money. The long bar was hot pink. A cop stopped and started giving me the third degree as I had locked my own keys in. He laughed when I pointed out the stupidity of having a hot pink bar. Dave's K said the Rhinos were good. They were good. And also kind of funny and fun to have a team in Rochester, New York called the Raging Rhinos. I mean, it's just kind of, do you know the way to Rochester? Little bug. Toby McGroby is here. Toby, I always appreciate your comments on the YouTube pages. Thank you. Good to see you. Oh, we're way past time for me to go open up my thing. Good Lord. Good Lord. I just couldn't, man, layovers, I live in Dallas, so, you know, it's a tremendous airline hub here. Okay, we've got Southwest, we got Continental, we got American that are all hubbed here. So I'm just used to always being able to find a direct flight, no matter how small the town is. And there weren't any to Rochester. There weren't any in Rochester. So, plus, you know, if I went there, I would want to be on some shows and stuff. Aku says, oh, how did that headlight kit work out for you, Tom? It's still in the box. That's how it worked out for me. I've gotten unexpectedly busy this week. Terry Nee says, I get it, Tom. I only do direct. Yeah, it's just, and even flying anymore, not really. Flying is too rich for my wallet. It's not even, you can find some cheap flights, but you know, unless you're coming from Ohio, North Carolina, or Florida, we don't have many direct flights out of Rochester, yeah. Or in, for that matter. I don't know. Plus, I live in Dallas. It's 100 degrees out. It's beautiful. It's sunny. The thought of going to Rochester, just not, you know. Yeah, the Wolf says, I'll pick you up. We can drive there. Oh, wait, you don't have a month for me to drive to every city on the way. No. Wolf would be late, even though he was driving 150 miles an hour between the cities. Tom would fly for a keg of Dr. Pepper. I don't know. I live where they make Dr. Pepper, so. Anyway, behind me is the city of Rochester. There you go. And for those of you wondering about the old days, there's the city of Rochester in 1930. Think about that. I actually have a very good friend that's from Rochester, New York as well, Pete Crosby. Great guy. Rochester. Oh, Rochester. Rochester is the county seat of Monroe County in the state of New York. It's the fourth biggest city and the 10th most populous municipality in New York, with a population of over 200,000 people as of 2020. The metropolitan area for Rochester is just over 1 million people. Throughout its history, Rochester has acquired several nicknames based on local industries. It's known as the Flour City, flour like the grain, like the cooking ingredient, and the Flower City, like the pretty flowers, plants that grow out of the ground, for dual role in flower production and floriculture, and as the imaging capital of the world for its association with film and still photography. The city of Rochester, believe it or not, was one of the very first. This is a very famous theater in Rochester, the Geneva Theater there in downtown Rochester. It was one of the first boom towns in the United States. Originally, because of the Genesee River Valley, which flows through there, which, helped the spread of several flour mills, and then as a manufacturing center, was also a big hub for abolitionism and the women's rights movement. It is the birthplace of many notable companies, including Eastman Kodak, Xerox, Bausch & Lomb, Wegmans, Gannett, Paychex, and Western Union. And the region became a global center for science, technology, research, development. It had a few universities there, University of Rochester, Rochester Institute of Technology, which helped that because they were very technically advanced. They had some problems during the deindustrialization of, the 80s and 90s and the Rust Belt. Rochester is also known for its culture, Eastman School of Music, Rochester International Jazz Festival, blah, blah, blah. So, the Seneca tribe of the Iroquois Confederacy lived around Rochester prior to the American Revolution, is what they did. This is another famous theater there in Rochester, the Little Theater. But Rochester was founded by a wave of English Puritan descended immigrants from New England who were looking for farmland. And that was the dominant thing for like over a century. On November 8th, 3 men from Hagerstown, Maryland, purchased a 100-acre tract along the Genesee River, and they chose that site because 3 tributaries of the Genesee came together, and they thought that was a great opportunity for water power. City started with a population of 15, and they started laying out lands and streets, and it was called Rochesterville at first, but that name proved to be unpopular, so in 1822 it was shortened to just Rochester. It turned out to be the seat of the county. The Erie Canal aqueduct to the Genesee River was completed, so that connected the city to the Hudson River and New York City and the East Coast, okay? And then that canal is what turned Rochester into a boom town. In just 8 years, the town's population had gone from 15 people to 9,200 people, and 4 years after that, it was chartered as a city. Rochester was first known as the Lion of the West before it became Flower City. The wheat processing industry sort of migrated to the west during the 19th century because that's, after all, where all the wheat was. It was out west on the plains. So the city turned all of its kind of, flour and milling into nurseries. And then it became the Flower City for, roses and things of that nature. Frederick Douglass founded the North Star, which was an abolitionist newspaper in Rochester. And he lived in Rochester for most, if not all, of his life. In the 20th century, it was big for carriage making for a long time, but we all know what happened to carriage making, right? People didn't use carriages when cars started getting made. Bausch and Lomb launched their business in 1861 in Rochester, and George Eastman founded Eastman Kodak in 1892. Xerox was founded in Rochester in 1906. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it was also a center for the garment industry at the time. So, there you go. The population was exploding, though. Exploding. Just 50 years after its founding, 62,000 people lived in Rochester. 30 years later, 162,000. And 20 years after that, nearly 300,000. By 1950, the population had reached a high of 332,488. And it was because of all the industrialization. So, obviously, during World War II, Rochester, because of all its factories, did a lot for the war effort. Apparently processing over $1,200,000,000 in military orders during the war. So there you go. 1950, the Census Bureau reported Rochester's population was 97% white, 2% black. The black population tripled during the 1950s. There was a race riot there in 1964. Kodak, long the city's largest employer, conducted massive layoffs prior to a 2012 bankruptcy. By 2022, the city's population had declined to only 200,000, with 45% recorded as white and 38% recorded as black or African American. So there you go there. Yeah. This is a delicacy from Rochester. I think I've heard them having it at other places. This is from the Tahu Hots restaurant, and it's called the garbage plate, which looks to me to be a hot dog or some meatloaf with ketchup, fried potato. I don't know what the hell's on that thing, but it's called a garbage plate. And they're proud of it in Rochester. I've never tasted it. It could be scintillating. Not going through their neighborhoods. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares. The record high for August in Rochester is 99 degrees. It's 99 right now. The average temperature daily in August in Rochester is 80 degrees, or as I call it, bitter cold. So there you are on that. Good luck to you folks. Good luck to you folks out there. I'm not going through the census again. I already went through all the yank on the businesses that were started there. They have a baseball team, the Rochester Red Wings. They have a basketball team, two of them, as a matter of fact, the Rochester Kings and the Rochester Royal Ballers. One's a men's team, one's a women's team. They have a hockey team in the AHL, the Rochester Americans, which I think most people Rochester call the Amerks. Rochester Nighthawks, and that's an indoor lacrosse team, but who cares? And the Flower City Union, which is nowhere near as cool as the Rochester Lancers or the Rochester Raging Rhinos. Sorry, I wish it wasn't true, but it just is. They have a number of schools there. We've got some newspapers. I can tell you that one of the biggest reasons I didn't go was this right here, and that's the airport in Rochester, which I'm sorry, that only looks like 2 runways to me. That's not enough. Sorry, kids. That's just not enough. I'm not going to tell you about the roads and highways. Notable people. I already told you about Frederick Douglass, George Eastman, Kodak founder. Susan B. Anthony is originally from Rochester, New York. I went through this list really fast earlier, and there's a ton of people on it, but you know, Abby Wamba, women's soccer player. John Bones Jones, MMA superstar. Johnny Antonelli in baseball. I mean, there's a lot of people listed here, but there's not that many that you go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. All right, okay, all right. Yeah, okay. Jeff Van Gundy and Stan Van Gundy, 2 NBA coaches, are from Rochester. I mentioned John Bones Jones. Frank Trigg, some of you might remember Frank Trigg. China, the famous women's wrestler, China. And then Gorilla Monsoon, also from Rochester, New York. I don't know how many people remember Gorilla Monsoon, but from Rochester. Brian Briss, Dima Kovalenko in soccer. This is, yeah. And that's really all I have to tell you, other than this is City Hall about Rochester, New York. It's time to get to your quotes and comments. And let's see if I can find. There's where I'm at. And how should I do this? Daggone it, I forgot something. Let's do that. And then let's do that. You guys look at that, and I'll be right back. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. There we go. Yeah. All right, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Okie dokie. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Gilman, for the $1.99. I agree with Dupa's smartest show adjacent to Dabbleverse. Well, thank you. Dupadoo says, I thought you were kidding when you said you were going to meet Joey C. That's awesome that you, it's awesome that you hooked up. It is. Did you move to New York? No, I'm not even moving to New York. That's never happening. Looks better than my hometown. Hasn't changed since the 70s. The Jiva Theater. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought it was Geneva. Boom Town. Hot like the button, Gully. Yeah, hit that like button. Really autocorrect. Funny to think of Rochester as the West. Well, it was at one time, but when things moved further, then the wheat was far away. Garbage plate, yum. Okay, here we go. Dave K is going to let us in on the inside scoop here. Garbage plate. You can get it with burgers or dogs over home fries and macaroni salad with a meat hot sauce over everything. Good Lord. Good Lord. Is there a motto, I got my Red Wings in Rochester? I don't know. Maybe one year they can hold Dabblecon when the temperature is somewhere in between freezing and sweltering, says Rumpled Trenchcoat. Yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm a big fan of her dollars. Fan of her dollars. Nope. Let's see here. It's only 82 degrees here now. Comfortable. Bitter cold. Can't wait for those new podcasters called WATP to cover this episode, Tom. I hear one of them live near there. Yeah, the WATP would just waste of their time to. John Wallace, the NBA star. Yeah, there was a bunch. Hey, there were a ton of them. Just nobody that made you. Oh, O.J. Simpson. There was no biggies. Is all. Well, there were, but just not, If anyone can convert 33 degrees Celsius into freedom units, I'm starting to melt up here. Warfield says, well, there goes the neighborhood. Any bets on how long that ice cream jingle would play before you hear a gunshot? Read that pic. Seeing a side of Tom I never saw before. What pic? Oh, yeah, the derby pic. Reminds me, SG, I got a good laugh when you changed my Columbo DVD to Galumbo on Twitter in Pterisasis Day. The Pterisasis Day. That's funny. Dupa's a funny one. A bit of a butterface. Yeah, I'd be the first to admit that. But nice cans. Tom says he'll be right back, but he's really going to deal with the ice cream guy. No, and the Australian breakdancer. Are we going to hear gunfire? I don't know. Did Tom go to exact street revenge on that ice cream man? No, I ran into the other room to turn something off that I set an alarm that I was going to turn off. It's a long story. How the heck did Otto get pityriasis out of other? I don't know, man. Suspense is killing me. I think there's one less ice cream man. Stone Crab. Hall of Fame broadcaster Neil Rogers hailed from there. I've never heard of Neil Rogers before, but is he a hockey announcer? Rumpled, I look up. You were talking about Susan B. Anthony when I made my dollar comment. Oh, you're a fan of her dollars. Yes. $2 coins. No, it was a $2 bill. Hugh says, I felt my arteries clog when you read that description. Aku says, can't blame autocorrect now. Just rung my bell with a flying sledge head. Aku, you need just be more careful. SG, that is awesome. Well, the wolf didn't see the roller derby girl before, apparently. 33 Celsius is like 95 freedom units. I don't even know what a freedom unit is. Toby McGrovey says Rochester's Dabblecon would be fun, but a lot of awkward standing around as strangers constantly approach Tom and the guys to say, remember me? It's Toilet Plunger 696969. You said LOL to me 5 years ago. It does happen like that sometimes, Toby, but you know what else happens is you find yourself saying things you never thought you would say. Like, nice to meet you, Super Cooch. Tremendous intensity on the face. Really? Well, you know, Wolf, I am a competitor. I'm what they call scrappy. Rumple Trenchcoat says, SG Fanboy says, Rumple Trenchcoat, I forgot all about that. Autocorrect must be amazed that finally someone actually used the word pityriasis. Aku, you hurt yourself again. Jesus. Yeah, Aku, be more careful. Just be more careful. It took me almost 8 minutes to type that long comment. That's what happens. You're probably using a phone, aren't you? Probably using a phone. Anyway. So I guess that Dabblecon 2 starts tomorrow night. I think you can go to, isn't it dabbleconlive.live or something? And you can pay $30 and get all weekends live streaming. Whoops. Terry Nee is here, fresh from meeting Joey C in person. Says, Dabblecon. Hello, penis wrinkle. Meet Super Cooch. Hugh says, that was Tom? I thought it was Kayla. Funny. My boobs are way bigger than hers. Aku says, at least I'm doing the heavy work tonight. Tomorrow I have my last rabies needle. All right. 8 minutes. It's Stuttering John. Well, Carl's Frosted Tips are here. Says, hello, folks. I'm sure that's not actually Carl's Frosted Tips. But anyway, that's all I got to tell you about Rochester. But look at that airport, man. I can't. It doesn't look like a very... The Wolf says, I understand, Toby. My hands don't fit any keyboard. It takes forever for me to type. Yeah. That looks like it has, what, 2-3 runways or something? I mean, look at the terminal. The terminal, where is it? It doesn't, is there a terminal? Do you just get off and walk into the parking lot? Went to Bakersfield last summer, and I guess it's a terminal. Sorta. You just open. It's just basically just gates. There's no. Anyway. Hello, Carl, says the Wolf. Julian Zeezers. That's a fine airport. Some places are only served by seaplanes. Oh, my God. How terminal is it? I don't know. Never been there. Agus says, by the way, Tom, they don't do the belly button needle for rabies now. Just a bunch of local to the bite. Well, that's good news. Stonecrab says, as a pilot, one runway is all you need. Well, as a pilot, guess what, pilot? You wouldn't be flying without passengers. They make the whole equation work financially. And when you have an airport that's only got 1, 2, or 3 runways for takeoff and landing, you're not going to have very much traffic. Therefore, I have to take a layover to get there. Me and Terry Nee ain't taking no layovers. At least the in-flight meal is a garbage plate. Yeah. At least they're not Detroit. Yeah, Detroit Metropolitan Airport. You live in Detroit, you got to drive 2 hours to get to the airport. Dumb airport. Julian Zezer says, Aku Mugen, just don't get bit in the belly button. Yeah, there you go. Any landing you can walk away from is a good landing, says Doctor. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Dave K says, I can see my office in that picture. Awesome. Hugh says, why on earth did you go to Bakersfield? I was born and raised not far from there. I was helping somebody. Trying to, anyway. Trying to help is all I was doing. Just wanted to put that up there for a while to make me feel a little more macho after Derby Girl was up. Aku says, 3 in my left hand. They want to pump more in but couldn't fit anymore. Oh, man. Rumpled Trenchcoat has been kind enough to gift 5 Tom Gully Show memberships. Thank you so much, Rumpled Trenchcoat. And by the way, if you have not listened to Rumpled Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast, you are missing out. I'm telling you. If I was you, I would watch an episode, because the episodes are relatively easy to access. Watch an episode, then watch the Rumpled Trenchcoat or listen to it on YouTube here. It's awesome. Rumpled probably knows where you can see those on demand for free. I don't, but I have a bunch of them on DVD. So thank you, Rumpled Trenchcoat. Hugh says, helping them leave, I hope. Aku Mugen gifted a membership. Man, everybody turn those gifted memberships on. I'm not in YouTube. I can't tell if anybody's getting them. Randy says, I'm craving a Subway sandwich. Oh, Randy. Know what I had, like right before the show? 2, not 1, but 2 Earl Campbell hot and cheddar with a little mustard and just a touch of ranch. Yeah. It was heaven. Heaven. I haven't seen any alerts for any Ricos or anything so far this evening. There you go. I haven't. Let me see. Pegleg, Looney Tunes, and Toby McGrovey gifted memberships. Yes. Yes. By God, yes. By God. I can't wait for Monday. I can't wait for all the pageantry and all the stories from Dabblecon. Let's see. Rumple says, I think they're on Paramount or Peacock for free with limited commercial interruptions. That's all we need. Tom rules the airwaves tonight. Oh, yeah. That's me. Aku Mugen, thank you, Lucas. Aku Mugen says, don't think they will have Rico due to traveling unless they have a late night show. Well, I recall last night them saying that tonight's show would occur and it would be all of them in Rochester. So maybe it'll be a later in the evening show. The Wolf says, hey, can you still get cheap land near Bakersfield? Well, miserable desert land? I would assume so. That airport's off by itself, I'll tell you that. And there was a lot of wide open spaces there. You might have to go a little further out, but I don't know. Aku says, after this weekend, TSN should send John's mother flowers and an apology card. Boy, there's going to be some blood-spattered walls on that comedy club's walls after this weekend. Dave K says, are you going to watch the Dabblecon live stream? Well, here's the thing. I've got mixed feelings on that. Because first of all, that's going to mean me devoting almost my whole weekend to just sitting behind a computer watching the whole, it's going to be a lot of, I'm not doing anything all weekend, and I got stuff to do. Secondly, I would want to make sure that the technical end of that was working properly, and I don't know how to do that. And answer to your question, I might. I'm getting close to it. But then again, it's, do you just wait and get the update? I don't know. Toby says, I didn't know I was back down to regular. Thanks, RTC. Ooh. Jeez. Well, you're not anymore. You're a member again. Hugh says you can get cheap land near Bakersfield, but do you want cheap land near Bakersfield? It just depends on how near, I guess. I mean, Bakersfield itself, the parts I saw, I'd live there. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. You're welcome, Toby. It was just a lot of strip malls and I don't know. I liked it well enough. It was certainly hot enough. I'd live there. I mean, the parts of it were nice. They weren't like run down, but it just, I don't know. You're welcome, Toby. A very generous man, Ruppel Trenchcoat. Toby McGroby says, Aku, exactly. Though I still see her as a partial victim. Oh, God. That poor woman. That poor woman. So, wasn't really, nobody was clamoring for me to go to Dabblecon 2. Layover. And then, and I can't state this enough, probably not a lot of hot chicks. As far as I can tell, personally, there's only going to be one that's not married. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if that one is married or not. For all I know, they're married. But I can only, yeah. So I, don't really want to bring my own. Let's see here. You read that like it was hostile, Tom. I really meant thank you. No, I got that. I got that. Sorry if I read it wrong. You obviously didn't wander over to the east side, says Hugh. Well, I don't know where I was. I know the night before the morning I left, my flight was super early in the morning. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. So the last day I was there, I said, why don't I just stay at like a Red Roof Inn or something, or Motel 6, really close to the airport. That was a mistake. I mean, I know it's Motel 6, but gee, many Christmas. All right, let's see. You don't have to watch Dabblecon live, but I understand the concern about the technical difficulties. I just want to support the miserable men because they introduced me to the YouTube chat rooms. Yeah. I feel like I support them. It's super chats and memberships and things, but I don't think there's going to be technical difficulties because Frog was there a day in advance. So it's not a huge worry. It's just sometimes, not on their part, but like if a whole bunch of people start streaming, and you know what I'm talking about. The signal for the Wi-Fi isn't strong enough, or things they can't control. Kate Meany, no, she's not the one I was referring to. Stone Crab, no. I don't even think she's going to be there. I was asking if she was going to be there, but I never got an answer. Cut the AC. There'll be a lot of hotter chicks. He says 90% of the married women in Rochester has a husband in prison, so technically single. Well, I'm talking about that'll be at Dabblecon. Karen Garvey says, also, I think the miserable men are funny. They are. Urban Trenchcoat says, I'd bring my wife to Dabblecon, but every time I start to explain it, she starts slowly dialing a divorce lawyer. The Wolf says, ha ha ha, sounds like Detroit. Felt a little like Detroit out there. Aku says, John's like uranium, not much fun to be around, not good for your personal life. However, if you can find someone to refine it, the mushroom clouds are great to watch. Yeah, pretty much. Karen Garvey says, Tom, you support the miserable men as much as they support you. Who do you mean by the miserable? You're talking about Shuley and those guys, right? The TSN guys. Dave K says, plenty of hot Italian women in Rochester. Yeah, but I'm talking about that will be at Dabblecon. I could fly to any city in the continental United States and hunt down a hot babe. I'm sure of that. But I'm talking that will be at Dabblecon. If I have to leave Dabblecon to find the hot babes, there's no reason to be at Dabblecon. The Wolf says, in Detroit, many of the pretty women are ladies of the evening. Terry Nee says, I would have spooned with you, Tom. Tease. Stone Crab says, Lucy Tightbox will be there. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. I think her real name's Kaylee. Hottest woman in the Dabbleverse by a landslide. It is not even a discussion. Aku says, the mustache ruins the whole look. Dave K. Let's see, what was Dupa's last? Let's see here. The Motel 6 on Red Roof Inn near the airport are not good. No, they were not. Topium Groby says, I'm in trouble keeping up with TSN. I wish they had a highlights video or something. Terry Nee. Well, they've been cranking out the content. I mean, they've been doing 3-hour shows every night. And, they've been... Johnny says, smash the likes. Yeah, smash the likes. The Wolf says, Bakersfield has one of the worst school systems, so don't have kids there. Where's Dupa Dupa? I don't, Karen, I'm not, when you say the miserable men, are you talking about Shuley and Bob? I'm just curious, because I know about the Miserable Men show, but I know specifically what you're referencing there. Terry Nee says, my wife is in Myrtle Beach. She would have never known. See, you tease. Now you tell me. Too late to do anything about it. Shuley, Bob, and Mike Morse. Yes, I support all those guys. I'm very, very supportive. I've done, well, let's see here. I think I did a BS show. I think I did a Point Dabble Point. I might have done a Rico. I know I've done a Levyverse. I don't think any of those guys have even come into this chat room. But they are always very positive and complimentary and promotional when I'm in their chat room. So they're all super talented guys. So and as is the Frog. Frog's been a nice guy and very helpful as well. BS show was real good. It was real good. SG Fanboy says, you were on the PDP that Opie bailed on, weren't you? I think that was a BS show. But yes, I was on that. And nobody remembers but you. Dupa says, they mention you on their shows. They do if I super chat or something. They will. Or make a funny comment. Yeah, they're great. I appreciate it. Chris Abels will not be there. His car engine blew up yesterday, says the Reverend Wild Bill. That sucks. Man, oh man, does that suck. Well, maybe they can rent a car or something like that. SG Fanboy says, no, it was PDP. Are you sure? I was on a PDP, but the show that I was on, the PDP I was on, it was me, Shuli, Joey. I can't remember who the other person was. The Opie show that I was on was me, Bob, Mike, Zen, I think. Pretty sure. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It's hard to find a motel as great as the Sixpence Inn. You can lose your blood and skin at the Sixpence Inn. Yes, that was a good one. Tom was good. I was just sitting there. I like Joe. Don't ever tell him. I won't. Your secret's safe with me. Everyone say goodnight, Gracie. Goodnight, Gracie. Fanboy says, yes, I'm sure. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Grandma Bill says he said last night he will not be there, has to buy another car instead. Jesus. Bunch of crap. Opie was going to be on that PDP and bailed. I swear to you, it was Uncle Rico. I mean, it was a BS show because Opie was on the air at the time. He was doing his morning. I don't know. But I do remember him bailing. I do remember the incident. Shuli going over there and things exploding. I have a love-hate thing for Opie, so I remember it being PDP slightly after 4. Opie was a no-show. Shuli had to chase him down. We know the rest. Well, no, Opie was actually on the air. And he wanted us to come into his room, and we were like, that's not the way it works. You come here, we're already... And then he made the remark comparing him to John, and very quickly that whole thing was... Hey, Karen. Hi, Wolf. Opie was supposed to come on Point Dabblecon, and KB had one of his people give Opie $200 to not go on. I remember everything exactly that way, except I don't remember it being Point Dabblecon. Tom was getting a lot of viewers with Phil as his lead-in. No, I was on before Phil. That I do know. So Phil was getting a lot of viewers with me. Opie had 1/10 of viewers of Shuli, but he wanted Shuli to come join. That's true, Julian. He chickened out and was looking for an excuse. Well, I think it was the money that he even said so. He goes, hey, the guy gave me $200 to not go on. I can't really go on. Opie's good. He's just on too early. He does different times, but yeah, that early one, I get up early as hell. And there's some mornings I get on and he's just finishing up or already done. Avoid hotels that are changing hands. Yes. It's not, see, under new management, don't go there. Hugh says, I think that was just a nighttime Uncle Rico. Okay. It was sad to see that Opie hadn't really done much after '09. I figured he would have opened a roller rink and run a radio station and DJ the ring. SG Fanboy says, I feel like I'm in the Mandela effect right now. Yeah, guys, don't take any of what I'm saying as gospel. If I knew for sure, I would be saying, no, I know for an absolute fact, blah, 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 blah. I don't know for an absolute fact. I'm just giving you my hazy memory of what the hell went down. I do know this. Who Are These Podcasts did a show where they examined Opie running away, and when they listed the people that were on the TSN show that Opie was supposed to come to, you know, Shuli's network, they all forgot me in the listing. There was absolutely no mention made of me being there at all. Turns out Tom's logo never had a cornucopia. Exactly. Turns out Steve Sable died before Ed Sable. SG, I feel like that every day, says the wolf. Oh, we're almost to time here. Well, hey, man, I hope you guys have a blast at the thing. I'm thinking on this Sunday's members only, so get your membership. Turn your gifted memberships on. It tells exactly how right now in the crawl. And I think there's a few still out there. Maybe. This Sunday on our members show, why don't we discuss Dabblecon 2? Or at least what we know has transpired. I'm sure some of you will have watched the live stream. I'll have the phone line open and we can talk about it. Toby McGroby says, I hate Opie's dishonesty about it all. It really annoys me more than it should. However, I grew up with an Opie type, so to be fair, I have a misdirected grudge. We all change as people, personally and professionally, and I think if you listen to some of the shows with Opie and Anthony up to a certain point, Opie is fabulous and hilarious and engaged, and then at a certain point, just wasn't anymore. Okay, I just found it. It was PDDP, Point Dabble Point, with Shuli, Zen, Tom, and Joey. I know I was on a PDP with Shuli and Zen and me and Joey, but is that definitely the one Opie didn't come back from? I am annoyed I had to miss DOA by working on Sunday. I think it's still there for you. I don't think I've taken it down. But they wanted me to take down all of something recently, and I'm just like, come on, man. SG Fanboy said, just found the episode of PDP where Opie bailed, and who do I see right there? It's the Tom Gully. Aku nailed it. Okay, I stand corrected. Sorry. I didn't know. I forget all my credits. I've done it all. I've done it all. Okay, so 1 p.m. Sunday, Dabblecon, yay. Wolf, Dabblecon is an event in Rochester focusing on the drunk guy. Yeah, it sure is. I may have a concussion, but I still get around. Well, so, I don't think there's any Dabblecon events on Sunday, right? Even so, we can do a little thing. The drunk guy stopped drinking on stream, and the show got worse. Tom has so many credits, it's just difficult to keep track. No, I'm just not that smart. Doctor says, you never forget about being stone green. No, I never do. I never, ever do. As a matter of fact, I never, ever, hold on. I never, ever, 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 ever forget about being certified stone green. Whoops. By the fabulous NA NEAS Institute. Put Rochester back up there. No, dude, but not that drunk guy. Karen Garvey says, Aku, do you have more concussions than Gronk? Dabblecon, wonder if SJ is going to show up. I kind of wonder that too. I don't think he will, but I kind of wonder. Gronk? Yeah, Rob Gronkowski, the football player. You know, the only reason I wonder why is because of all of John's theatrics toward the end of this week. I don't put it past him to do that, to be like, I'm going to fake him out here. I'm going to act like I'm never, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to be there. I don't think he will, but it's his kind of not all there. Is there a replayables or something going on tonight? No, replayables is tomorrow. Tonight is Killing It with the Ables. Yes, so I got to get out of here. It would be funny if John showed up with the cops, pressed charges for them stealing his couch. Yeah, it'd be funny if he did a lot of things. But that's just not our John. Anyway, Killing It, or Killing with the Ables is coming up, I think, tonight. Right? Am I right about that? But Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, we'll do a little Dabblecon chat. See if there's excitement out of there. So, with all that being said, what are the Ables killing? I have no idea. It's more likely to believe he would call in a fake emergency involving a blast. If he does that, it's 40-ish years. Rob Gronkowski played for the Patriots and semi-retired at the age young because he had so many concussions. I was just joking. Joey's doing a show. Joey's been live streaming since he left Florida. People paid to be in the same room as John's couch. Oh, John's couch is probably going to generate a lot of money at that thing. Rumpled Trenchcoat says, I don't think Stuttering John will show up at Dabblecon. That would involve him doing something. Yeah. At least he'd have an excuse for his layovers. It would be just for the cushions. Karen Garvey. Hey, I'd like to thank the Wolf, Karen Garvey, Gilman, Stone Crab, Rumpled Trenchcoat, and Aku for their very kind and generous donations tonight. And I think the only thing left to say now is, till next time. We'll see you next time.
They call me Mr. Lucky, and I guess I am. I got a world of hurts living under my shirt. I don't want to talk about that, 'cause I got the love of a beautiful woman. There's nothing's gonna take her place. She make me feel just like a natural born winner when I'm not even in the race. That's why they call me Mr. Lucky, and I thank my stars above. You can call me Mr. Lucky, 'cause I'm lucky in love. Never had a whole lot of money. I was never good at games of chance. When I'm playing cards with my buddies, well, the money flies right out of my pants. Don't you know I got a little secret? It's the ace of hearts up my sleeve. And when I get home to my honey, she give me love like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, they call me Mr. Lucky, and I thank my stars above. You can call me Mr. Lucky, 'cause I'm lucky Bye.